The internal elections are reorganization processes of the ruling party in accordance with its stated rules and preparations ahead of the 2024 polls. With less than 3 years to the election for which they seek to break the 8, the party has so far held its polling station, electoral and constituency level polls. They are left with the regional, national and flag bearership polls. But there are some outstanding issues in some constituencies. In the statement, the party assured of efforts to conduct polls in the remaining constituencies. But what is to account for the failure to conduct the polls in the about 20 constituencies?
The few ones who were not able to do it were as a result of some few court issues and some petitions that had come before the Cecilia Dapa ADR Legal Support Committee to ensure amicable resolution. So these are the reasons accounting for the few ones that are yet to have their conferences done.
The complaints have largely been fueled by alleged irregularities in the compilation of the voter register at various levels, from Domikwabenya, Etuwa East, Fomena, Subin to Nandom. Party members have complained about the refusal of election management committees to hold elections at the polling station levels. Most of these persons protested what they described as an unfair process.
In some places, elections were not held at all because they knew that those people were their own guys, and so they don't want anybody to contest them. When you go to places like Tafro, they never held any election. There wasn't any election. Tranai, the same thing. So we are here telling them that this does not reflect what we call democracy, and that we are calling on the party executives at the regional level and that of those at the national level, Mr. John Boadu and then Kwame Bafo Abronye, to, as a matter of agency, come to Doma Central, come and then cancel the election just ended and then reorganize another election.
There were no election in our constituency, and therefore we are calling on the national executive to investigate what happened there, nullify any compiled register that will come out of that illegality, and call for a fresh election. Anything short of this will be chaos. We cannot guarantee, we can't control them. Today we were coming, we control some of them and said that we cannot take all of you there. We can come with 63 people. Let's go with them. Whatever they will tell you, we will let you know. But we are waiting on them. If they fail to address our concern, we will advise ourselves.
But the party, after taking reports from all levels of the polls, says the decision not to hold elections in some instances was justified once a consensus was built on the matter.
The directive was, let's have elections. If within the arrangement of the constituency, they decided to acclaim people, it's also a form of elections. Elections is not always voting and counting physical numbers. There's agreement, there's consensus. Why not? And I beg to differ from those who think that once people agreed on consensus basis and do not go through election, then it cannot be taken.
During the polls, especially at the constituency level, there were complaints of missing names on the voter roll. The national executives were accused in some instances of being the brain behind the problem. In some constituencies like Okaikwe South, there were exchanges of blows over the issue.
The person who supervised this election, this creation of the album, the new album, which has bring all this chaos and this confusion, is a person who is going for an election, and then the party allowed this person to supervise this creation of this new album. And what do you expect to happen? Would it take people whom suspect that they will vote against him out, and this is what is happening. An album with an amount of, let's say, 800 plus, you've taken away 413 people out of the album, believing that these people will vote against you.
Because some of us were with Ahmed Atta, that is the whole issue. So they are trying to remove we are with Ahmed, so that she have their own way to stay here.
The party, however, says the issue of missing names is impossible. For the party, the system devised in compiling the registers leaves little room for such mishaps.
For those who said their names were taken out of the register, I'm saying it's impossible, because this is a register that did not emanate from the headquarters. It emanated from the constituency. These are polling station officers, electoral coordinators, existing patrons and council of elders who had their names in the previous register. And so that's what the party put together and handed it over to the Electoral Commission. There was never any petition from anybody from Okankwi South. So I'm surprised that at the last minute, on day of elections, people will come up in such numbers as you may have seen. I did not witness it, but I'm surprised, and I'm saying that is impossible.
For some prospective candidates for regional executive portfolios in the Greater Accra region, they do not expect the issue of missing names to feature in the polls scheduled to take place between May 27 and May 29 this year.
By and large, moving to the regional phase, I don't think major problems will come in that direction. With what we've seen from the polling station, electoral area and constituency level, I think party people should be poised at making selections that would re-energize their base. We have a very solid mantra at breaking the 8. We need solid representation at the region who will make very good supervisory decisions at the various constituencies.
Regional elections, the delegates are going to be the constituency executives who have gone for their elections and they have won. So the constituency executives, they are not in ambiguity. We will know them. And with the appointees, 7 appointees to join the 10 to make it 17 executives. Then also the TESCON reps and the Council of Elders and Council of Patrons. It's quite clear. And the members of parliament as well. So I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge. There won't be any challenge.
But some of the persons affected by this at the constituency level have filed suits challenging the process, while others have petitioned the internal disciplinary body for redress. The party, however, wants all court cases to be discontinued.
In the interest of those who have run to court, as I said, advisedly, in their own interest, is to discontinue and come back to the party. For few of them that I can mention to you, like today in Mampong Court, the other time in Kumasi in the case of Kwadaso, and even in Himan Lower Densha, the court advised the petitioners to go back to the party for amicable resolution.
The party is of the assurance that the court cases, whether discontinued or not, will have no impact on the upcoming regional conferences.
For delegates or the quorum to be formed for conference, when it is convened at whatever level, whether at the constituency level by the constituency chairman, regional level by the regional chairman, or national by the national chairman, our constitution is clear that you need 1/3 of delegates to form quorum. And so for those few ones remaining, in the event that we are not able to resolve them, a conference can take off. But I can assure you that all these issues will be resolved.
With about 3 weeks to the regional conferences, some prospective candidates in the Greater Accra region hope the elections will be free and fair.
Primarily, I think, as a political party, our objective is to win power convincingly and also to form government for the day. So we are contesting among ourselves, and we should not have any rancor. So I have trust in the system.
Looking at the way this has gone, I can only prospectively posit that it's not going to be any bad. It's going to be good. I'm sure they'll do a good job, as they've done for the constituency elections. I expect same at the regional level.